Sadashivasamarambham Shankaraachaarya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. त्रैलोक्यनाथ हरिमीड्यमुदार सत्वं शक्तेस्तनूजतनयं परमेष्ठिकल्पं जीमूतमुक्तविमलाम्बरचारुवर्णं वासिष्ठमुग्रतपसं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्. So we were, I think, looking at the 94th verse, where in the previous few verses, the Acharya had gone back to the main misinterpretation, you can say, or the main other interpretation of Tattvamasi, which is that it is a upasana. Okay. In this context, we had already pointed out that Tattvamasi does not have any vidhi. The verb which mandates you to do the upasana is not there. Okay, because of which it is different like that. Already we had argued about this. But now the Acharya is taking up another aspect of this argument, in that the opponent can say that I can do adhyaharya. Okay, adhyahara means what? Adhyahara means you are bringing a word which is not there. Okay, and then trying to make meaning out of it. Now this is allowed if the sentence itself is incomplete. Okay, sometimes it is done. If something is missing in the sentence, you have to supply words. And obviously, you will supply based on context, etc. Okay, whatever is under discussion, etc. Now, here, the Acharya points out that the sentence is already complete. Tattvamasi is a complete sentence. There cannot be any adhyahara done there. You cannot bring some other word and then try to create a meaning. If you do like that, in fact, one of the important things about the Veda is that it is apaurushaya. That will go away. He pointed that out also, that whatever your fancy to hold on to that, you supply words, then it will become paurushaya. It is like you are authoring the Veda now. Then it will not be a pramana for us anymore. Okay. So this point also he pointed out. Then the other point he is trying to point out now is what? If you do this as an upasana, that means there is no way you are going to get out of samsara. This is the next point he is pointing out now. Why? Because only by pointing out you are that limitless, you can be free of this life of becoming, that all your limitations you can overcome. But being the limited being, whatever you may visualize about yourself, you are not going to become free of your limitations. You will still be the same individual. You can be a great individual, accomplished individual, all that, but still you are a limited being who is subjected to karma. It will become again. And therefore, according to your own papa punya, you have to undergo sukha and dukkha, means that you cannot escape them. Once you take yourself as karta bhokta, as an individual, you cannot be free from the sukha dukkha which will come to you based on your own karma, that you have to go through that. There is no other way. Avashaha anubhavet, like that Acharya says. So that will be the only result. If you do it as an upasana, then you are not going to give up your limitations. You will still be a limited being who may have accomplished something, which is fine. But whatever you accomplish through karma as a karma phala, because upasana also is a mental karma only, all karma phala will be limited only. So you are not going to get rid of all your limitations, and therefore you will be subjected to karma phala. Then finally this verse we saw. That if the, so he says no, as a, like a exclamation, okay, he is exclaiming now, Acharya, what he says, so if you still maintain that it is only upasana, and it is not giving you this factual knowledge about your own reality, that you are this sadvastu, so yadi tattvamasi iti veda vachanam sadupasana karma na tattvamatim purushasya phalam sadupasanataha vimrishami bhavashyati kidrigiti. So if it is not giving you this factual knowledge about yourself, it does, if Satvamasi does not reveal your own reality, it is only going to give you some upasana phala. What kind of phala it can be? Vimrishami means I reflect, I wonder, or I review. When I review this, when I look at it, what kind of phala it will give me? Means it is aksheparte, questioning. Questioning is means what kind of result it can give me, means it will not give any result, or whatever it gives also is not what I really want. Okay, it's not going to give me any significant result. So purushasya phalam sadupasanataha, from the sadupasana, the result or the phala for the purusha, what it will be, bhavishyati, kidrik bhavishyati, how it will be, means it's not going to be anything significant. So this question is basically to oppose the idea that the phala is something desirable, particularly for a mumukshu. It may be desirable for others. You do some upasana, you will go to some swarga, etc. If it is said, that is fine. Those whoever wants to go to the swarga and again enjoy there till their karma phala lasts, that is fine. But for a mumukshu who has vairagya towards whatever one can accomplish here or hereafter, correct? Iha amutra phala bhoga viragaha, we say, correct? Iha means whatever one can accomplish here in this world. Amutra means whatever one can accomplish in some other world. Okay, both these things, iha and amutra, phala bhoga viragaha. So the phala, if you don't get, or whatever phala you get also, you are not worried, because you are a mumukshu. You are not interested in karma phala. Correct? That is one of the fundamental things one has to understand. So that's what the Acharya is pointing out here. So now we'll go to the next verse. Purushasya tu martya gunasya bhavet sadupasanayana sadatmakata na kathanchidapi prajahati yataha prakritim sahajamiva kaschidapi. Okay. Now there are some acharyas who do argue that by doing upasana, you actually become Brahman. Okay. There are people who argue like that also. Okay, the moksha itself is produced because of jnana karma samuchaya, and one cannot give up the karma. Even though you have jnanam, you have to keep doing karma, etc. So now the Acharya is shifting his attention towards such people who may claim that by doing upasana only, you will become Brahman. So, but to oppose that only, no, Acharya says, Purushasya tu martya gunasya. So who is this Purusha who is going to do the upasana? Means this Purusha, this person is a limited individual. Okay. Being a limited individual means subjected to space-time. And if you are in space-time, means you are martya, you are subjected to time, means you are a mortal. Correct? It may be a long time, it doesn't matter. As long as you are in space-time, you think that you are a being in space-time, means you are a mortal. Martya guna you have. Martya means one who is mortal. So you have the quality of being a mortal. Martya gunasya purushasya bhavet. So you will become what? Sadupasaneya na sadatmakata na bhavet. Okay, you will not become, Acharya says, by doing this upasana, you will not become this sadvastu, which is ekameva dvitiyam, which is satyam jnanam anantam brahma, which is free from space-time, which is the limitless. By doing any karma, okay, whether it is upasana or some other type of karma, you are not going to become the limitless. In fact, you can never become the limitless, correct? How much ever you add finite things, it is still finite. You are not going to create infinity. You cannot create the infinite newly. You cannot become, being limited, you cannot become the limitless. Is that clear? That's what Acharya is pointing out here. In fact, if you still maintain that, so what is the problem? Na kathanchidapi prajahati yataha prakritim sahajam iha kaschidapi. So why do we say this? Because Acharya is giving a reason. Yataha, because what? Na kathanchidapi prajahati. So prajahati means what? You give up. And what are you going to give up? Prakritim sahajam, your own nature, your own very nature. If you are really limited, you cannot give up your very nature. Kaschidapi, kathanchidapi, he says. So no one, no vastu, okay, at any time, okay, kathanchidapi, or at any way, any which way, no vastu can give up its very nature. Prakritim, sahajam prakritim means what? That which you are born with, means that which is naturally there to you. If it is something there and that is your very nature, you cannot give it up. So being limited, you cannot claim that I will become limitless, because either you have to give up your nature and become Brahman, or Brahman has to give up its nature and become you. Both are not possible, correct? Brahman also cannot give up its nature. You also can't give up your own very nature with which you are born with, okay? Assuming that it's the reality. So you cannot, na prajahati is the, you can never give up. That is the idea. Na katanchidapi prajahati means you can never give up your own very nature. So that's what, that being the case, you cannot say that upasana will make you into this sadatma. Okay. Okay. Then what? Further. Yedi deha bridesha sadatmakatam pragamishyati vai sadupasanaya na jihasati rupamasau na nijam yata aikya gatirna bhavatyubhayo. Okay, now first in 95 verse, the Acharya said you cannot become the limitless, correct? Now even then, if you are maintaining that no, okay, this jiva will go to some swarga, no, all these Dvaitins have this idea, correct? They talk about different types of moksha. Understand that. Okay, what are all those? They say that salokya is one thing they talk about. Salokya means what? You go to the same loka as Bhagavan. Of course, they don't have any agreement on which loka it is. That is a problem. The Vaishnava will say you have to go to Vaikuntha. Shaiva will say you have to go to Kailasa. In fact, you are standing on the bus stop, you don't know which bus to take now. Because one guy is saying, no, you come with me. I will take you to Vaikuntha. That is the ultimate loka. Another fellow comes, no, I will take you to Kailasa. Another desert fellow comes and says, you come to my heaven. There are rivers of wine and you will get 72 women, all that. Okay. Then ISKCON will come. I'll take you to Golok Brindavan. That is the ultimate loka. Now, where are you going to go? Anyway, that is a confusion. Where you have to go, you have to first decide. But even going there, they say Salokya is one thing. Correct? But if you go there, you find so many other people, I hope. Okay, you are then in the queue, or you are standing in a crowd. like in a concert, correct? And if you are not tall enough, you cannot even see who is there on the stage. You have to jump up and down, I think, to see Bhagavan. But at least you are in the same loka. Then what? They talk about Sarupya, Sayujya and all that. Then you take the form like Bhagavan himself, you have a certain form, they say. And then you become one like amoeba entering your body. You get Sayujyam. Yujyam means what? You attain a certain union. This union is real union. Understand that. Sayujyam means you become like amoeba has entered and become a part of your body. You enter Bhagavan. You have union, correct? Yuj is the same as yoga and all that, same dhatu, correct? Sayujyam means what? You attain union with Bhagavan and thus you become Brahman. Okay, this kind of theology is there. Okay, of course, other desert theologies and all don't talk about all these things, but at least Indian theologies talk about Salokya, Sarupya, Sayujya, like this different types of, but Sayujya is their highest. Okay, because you have attained union. So this is not a new concept. It was there, I think, even at the time of Totakaacharya and Shankaraachaarya. So, in fact, interestingly, Shankara talks about this. If you read the 14th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Mama Sadharmyam Agataha, like that Bhagavan says there. Okay, those who attain, because 13th chapter he talks about Jnanam. So whoever has this Jnanam, they attain Sadharmyam, the word he uses. So the Vishishtadvaitin and Dvaitin and all, Sadharmyam means they talk about this kind of moksha only there. Because you attain dharma similar to Bhagavan, like that they interpret. But Bhashyakara even then expects this kind of a misinterpretation and he says, no, there Sadharmyam means you are one with Bhagavan only. Correct? Your nature and Bhagavan's nature is not different. It's one and the same. It's not that you are attaining a dharma which is similar to Bhagavan. Okay? And still you are separate. So like this point is there even in the Gita Bhashya. So here he says you cannot become. This means they are talking about attaining a certain union and all that. So that is the point he is taking up now. So he'll point out how this also is not possible. So let us see here. Yadi Dehabrit, the Dehabrit is the Jiva here, correct? The individual, the one who is there in the Deha, Dehi. Yesha Sadatmakatam Pragamishyati. So Sadupasanaya. So now this is what the Purvapakshi is saying. Due to the Sadupasana, by doing Upasana on the Sadvastu, Pragamishyati means what? You enter into the Sadatma. Okay, you attain a certain union, Sayujyam, with the Sadatma. Sadatmakatam Pragamishyati. Prakarshena Gamishyati means you enter, you attain a certain union. Means then what is the problem? Najiha sati rupam asau nanijam yataha aikyagatihi na bhavati ubhayoho. So even if this is possible, let us say that you have entered into the Sadatma, like amoeba into the body, bacteria are all there. But still what? Najiha sati rupam means you cannot still give up your own nature, correct? Najiha sati rupam asau. Na nijam yataha aikyagatihi na bhavati ubhayoho. And also one, you cannot become aikya, you cannot, there is no identity between the two, correct? You may have entered Bhagavan's body, but you are still separate. Bhagavan is still separate. Means your gunas are separate. You have not really become Bhagavan. Correct? Na nijam aikyagatihi. So aikyagati you have not attained. Really. There is no aikyagati at all. Okay? You cannot become one. Will the self abandon its own nature? Means it will not give up. You can also not give up your nature if you think it is real. Correct? If you are really limited, like I told you, you can never become limitless. So if your problem is real, there is no solution. So, because everybody's fundamental problem is, I am a limited being. In fact, if my limitations are my reality, I should not be instinctively struggling to overcome all my limitations. That's what we say, correct? Because whenever I look at myself and I see some limitation, if those limitations are my very nature, I should not feel that it is unacceptable, correct? My fundamental problem is one of self non-acceptance. And self non-acceptance is there. Why? Because in your own judgment, you think you are limited in one way or the other. So you are taking lot of efforts, thinking that karma phala is somehow going to get rid of your limitations. You are trying to accomplish something or the other, correct? You want to become something always. And thinking that by becoming something, you are going to get rid of some limitation. But it's never going to be achieved, correct? It's an endless cycle. That's what we say. It's a vicious cycle. That is samsara, a life of becoming. So if you are really limited, you can also not give up your rupa. The self also it's not going to give up its limitlessness and become limited for your person, for your purpose, correct? So there cannot be any real aikya also because of that. There cannot be any identity at all. Okay. Aikya gatihi na bhavati ubayoho. The both of them cannot have any aikya gati. It's not possible. So you cannot say that you have entered and then become one with Bhagavan. That's not possible. That's what he is saying. Because in your vision, understand that in their vision, the jiva is always separate from Ishvara. If you say really the Veda is real, that real Veda is never going to become, it's not going to go away, correct? You cannot become one or identical, retaining that Veda. And that particularly if that Veda is real, in fact. So, like this, the Acharya now presents the argument. But for this also they have an argument. Okay. In fact, even traditionally they give some arguments like this wasp is there, correct? The wasp is supposed to take away. In fact, in my place here, I see a lot of wasp. They build up small with mud, small like a their own something, correct? Within that only they lay the eggs. And for their babies to have food immediately, they take some caterpillar or some kind of anything which is available. Okay, they'll put it within that and then put this mud around it and lay the eggs within it. And then they close it very nicely. It is very difficult to even remove because they'll put it somewhere on your wall or on the windows, etc. But the traditional people think, or at least few centuries or 1,000 years back, they give an analogy that this wasp is actually made that caterpillar into its own wasp. Okay, by taking it and by doing whatever. So like that, the jiva will become Brahman. This is an analogy. Another analogy which Acharya is giving here is, we will see that now, the 97. Okay, the Purva Pakshi is giving an analogy. What is that? Rasavidhamay, rasavidmayaha prakritim sahajam pravihaya yatha kanakatvamiyat purushopi tatha sadupasanaya pratipatshyata eva sadatmakata. So rasavid vidham ayaha. Okay. Ayas means iron. Okay. Iron word I think comes from ayas only, which is a Sanskrita word. So rasavidham Ayaha means what? Here, what is this rasa? Again, in English, some people translate it as mercury and all that. Okay. In fact, there has been a rasa vidya or alchemy and all, you can say. Rasa vidya has been translated as alchemy. So this alchemy was big even in the Middle Ages in the Western world, correct? Because everybody wanted to convert something into gold. So that is the alchemy. And here, the rasa, some rasa you put on the iron, then iron becomes gold, he says. Okay, like even, so rasa vidham means you have immersed the iron in some rasa, some kind of a solution. It can be mercury, it can be something else, or it is a whatever concoction of so many things. So this alchemy thing, rasa vidya, in fact, I think Narada lists this rasa vidya. There must have been something about it, I think, at least. Okay, when Narada goes to Sanat Kumara and says, I know all these things, in that this Rasavidya also is one of the things he is listing as a discipline of knowledge. So according to this Rasavidya, you can at least make the iron appear as gold. Okay, whether it really becomes gold or not, in fact the Acharya does not accept that. So Rasaviddham ayaha prakritim sahajam pravihaya yatha kanakatvam iyat. So the Purupakshi here says, like even the iron which is, let us say, immersed in this rasa, whatever may be that rasa, okay. Rasa can be taken as a juice also, correct? Like some solution, okay. So the iron is immersed in some solution, then what? It gives up its nature, he says. Sahajam pravihaya, giving up its own nature. Yatha kanakatvam yat, then it attains this. Kanakatvam means goldness. It attains goldness. It becomes gold, he says. The iron, when you immerse it in this rasa, becomes gold. Kanakatvam yat. Similarly, what? Purushaha api tatha. Similarly, the individual sadhupasanaya pratipatshyata eva sadatmakatam, he says. Clear? So through this sadhupasana, the individual becomes this sadatma. Like even the iron becomes gold by giving up its nature. So this is the argument. Is that clear? So the Purupakshi is talking about alchemy as an argument. And I gave you the other example of that one insect taking some kind of a caterpillar and all that, and then making it into its own species, which is of course not supported. But anyway, the people have such notions. So for this, what is the answer the Acharya gives? So let us see that. Ayaso vayavana bhibhuya rasaha stitavana nalanugrahitimanu. Okay, stitivan analan anala. Okay, stitivan analanugrahitimanu kanakatva matim janayatyayasi pratipannamayo natu kanchanatam. Okay. So the Acharya, what he says, ayasaha avayavan abhibhuya rasaha stitavan. Okay. Anala anugrihitim anu kanakatvamatim janayati. So what he says is, you take the iron, and then what? You put it into this rasa, correct? The rasa also normally they heat it up. Okay. It is some kind of a concoction which is heated up also. So anala anugrihitim anu means after getting heated up in this solution, the iron, what happens? That rasa, whatever rasa is there in which you have put this iron and you are heating up, this rasa then goes and settles in the parts of the iron, he says, iron molecules. Wherever the iron molecules are there, that rasa will settle there. So abhibhuya, avayavan, ayasaha avayavan means what? All the parts of the iron, on that this rasa goes. It enters, you can say. And then it is there, stitavan, it settles there. what? When you are heating it up and all that. Anala anugrihitam anu. And then what? After that anu, kanakatva matim janayati. It makes you think that it is gold. It looks like gold, correct? Basically, the rasa covers up the iron. It goes and settles wherever the iron is, wherever the iron molecules are. It is like gold plating and all that, correct? Nowadays also we do gold plating. Who knows whether it is real gold or not, unless you examine it and all that. So, or even this 22 carat, 18 carat and all is there, correct? For an untrained person, we don't know. We can take everything as gold, although it is mixed up with silver, copper and all that, correct? There are different carat. The 24 carat gold, in fact, is not useful for making jewelry. It's difficult to machine and all that. So you have to add some copper, but still we call that as gold. Like that here also, this rasa has not really made iron into gold. That's what Acharya says clearly. See, natu kanchanatam pratipannam ayaha. The ayaha, the iron did not attain kanchanatam. It did not get this goldness. Is that clear? Whatever you are seeing is the rasa itself is appearing. It is covering up the parts of iron. The rasa settles wherever the parts of the iron are there and then makes it appear as though it is gold. It has not really attained goldness. So your argument is all not correct. There is no real gold. The ice has not become gold, correct? The iron has not really become gold. So kanakatva matim janayati, he says. Mati only. It is only a kanakatva mati means what? It produces the cognition that it is gold. Particularly the one who has not seen all this process, whatever you are doing. Right? You take the iron, put it into some solution, you heat it up and all that. And then afterwards it looks like gold. And so you go and give it to somebody, they think it is gold. They can have that idea, which is erroneous really. So it's only kanakatva matim janayati, ayasi. Only on the iron only is looked upon as though it is gold. But iron has not really attained goldness. Ayaha kanchanatam natu pratipannam. Okay. That's what the argument Acharya is making. So whatever you say is not correct. One cannot become another. One vastu cannot give up its very nature and become another. The other vastu may cover it up and make it look like something else. But that does not mean the original, whatever object has become some other thing. Okay. Now, in fact, he further continues that argument. Let us see. Udakavayavana vibhuya payo rajatavayavansta yatha kanakam viparita matim janayatyudake rajate cha tatha yasihe mamatim. Okay, now Acharya is giving his own analogies to point out these scenarios. What is that? He says, Udaka avayavan abhibhuya payaha. Payas is water. Sorry, payas is milk. Udaka is water. Now you mix water with milk. Little bit water if you add, nobody will know, correct? It still looks like milk only. Because the Udaka avayava, whatever the water molecules, they are all covered up by the milk, you can say. It still looks like milk only. It produces the opposite idea. Similarly, he gives one more analogy here. What is that? Rajata avayavansta yatha kanakam. So this gold plating of silver is not a new thing. It was there during the time of Totakaacharya also, I think. He says, you can take a silver jewelry and gold plate it. That doesn't mean silver has become gold, correct? It is only concealing. The milk is concealing the water. The gold plating on top of the silver conceals the silver. And it produces viparita mati. That's what viparita matim janayati udake rajate. So wherever there is water, it looks like milk. Wherever there is silver, it looks like gold, because the water and the silver are covered. They are concealed. Similarly, tatha ayasi hemamatim, he says. Even here, whatever rasavada you are talking about, in this also the rasa only is concealing the iron and makes it look like it is gold. It doesn't mean that the iron has really become gold. Is that clear? So that is the point he is making here. And then continuing. In fact, he doesn't leave this argument. He goes further. He says, let us see. Rasavirya vipaka vinashamanu pravinashyati kanchana tapyayasaha kritakam hina nityamati mati pragatam kritakam hina nityamati pragatam samavetam avashyam upaiti yataha. Okay. So rasavirya vipaka vinasham anu. So after, anu means after. What? Rasa virya vipaka vinasham means the rasa you have put, whatever rasa, it has settled, but it is not going to be there forever. Once its virya means its power or whatever, correct? Its effect, it is waning. After some time, what? That virya vipaka vinasham, he says. Its virya is gone totally. It has been destroyed. Its power is gone. Okay, that rasa's power, whatever rasa which was concealing the iron and making it look like gold, even though you may have done this thing, it is not going to last forever. That rasa's virya will go away after some time, and then what? Kanchanata pravinashyati. So along with that, the goldness on the iron also is destroyed, he says. So ayasaha kanchanata means the goldness of the iron. That the iron looked as though it is gold, that also is going to go away once the power of this rasa wanes. Okay, once it is it will be waning, and then once it is destroyed completely, then it is again going to look like only iron. Why is he saying like this? Because he is giving a bigger reason for this. The principle, what is that? Kritakam hina nityam. Correct? Whatever is created cannot be eternal. It cannot be nityam. Eternal means it's not long time. Understand that. Because in English language we use I was waiting for you eternally. Means you were waiting for some 15 minutes. And then you can tell the other person when they are late that I was waiting for you eternally. That is possible. But that's not the idea here. Eternal is not. Nityam means that which was there, that which is there, that which is always there. In fact, for us, Nityam is really that which is free from time itself, correct? That which transcends time. So anything which is created in time will be destroyed with time itself. So it can never be Nityam. Kritakam hina Nityam ati pragatam samavetam avashyam upaiti yataha. Also, the Acharya is pointing out the point that the samavetam, there is a samavaya sambandha and all we talk about. Okay. The Nayayikas say that this between the cause and the effect, the upadana karanam, the material cause or the proximate cause we can say, and the upadana and the karya, the upadana karana and the karya, the effect. What is the relationship? Means they talk about some samavaya sambandha. It's an intrinsic relationship or association is there. Means they say the yarns come together, correct? And then produce the cloth. Now, what is the relationship between the cloth and the yarn? Means you have to say it is samavaya, they say. Samavaya sambandha is there between the clothness and the yarn. Even going along with them, what do we say? Whatever has anything which is associated will get dissociated in time. Correct? That is the principle. Any union means it will end up in disunion only. Again, reunion you can have. But again, after reunion also, again, it has to be separated. Any union will end up only in separation. The union may have love and all that, but after some time, love will become allow. You allow the other person to go. All this, Puja Swamiji used to say that. Even the union with love, after some time, you allow. Anyway, here, Samavetam Avasyam Upaiti Atipragatam Yataha, because what? Kritakam hi na nityam. Why? Whatever is created. If you are creating something, you are bringing things together and creating something, correct? And then what? It will not last forever, because anything with parts, if you are bringing intelligently, you have to put together something, correct? Intelligently, you are putting together something and creating something. But whatever is put together will fall apart always. That is the rule. So Avashyam Upaiti, he says, it will definitely fall apart. Therefore, like even in the case you are, whatever analogy you are giving, there also that Kanchanata is gone, correct? That goldness of the iron, it may appear like gold for some time, but once the power of that rasa is gone, that appearance of goldness also goes away. It is not eternal. So whatever you are talking about, this Amritatvam or Sahaja, whatever, Sayujya, correct? Sayujya, Mukti and all that, that will also not, assuming it is there, really, it may be there, we don't know. You go to the Loka, then you become like Bhagavan, then you enter Bhagavan, everything is fine. But even that has to end. Because if it is a Upasana Phala, you may enjoy all that, but you have to come back after it is over. Your union with Bhagavan also will come to an end if it is really a union. Is that clear? That's what our Acharya is pointing out here. Continuing. Okay. Amritattvamasatpurushasya yadi kriyate tadupasanaya yajivat yaji karyavadantavadeva bhavet kritakasya yato vidita dhruvata. Okay, so this is very nice. So that same principle is now taking. So the Purva Pakshi can say, like even you do some yajna, correct? Yajivat. Yajji here is the yajna only, or yaga. So the yaji or yaga are all similar or synonymous words. So you do a yaga means that there is a phala for that, correct? There is a punya, and that punya will take you to Swarga. Similarly, you say that the jiva attains amritatvam by doing upasana, sadupasana. So the sadupasana karma phala is the amritatvam for jiva, even if you claim that as amritatvam. Okay. So even in the Veda, the devas are all called, they have attained amritatvam and all, we say sometimes. Okay, for going to Swarga. The meaning of that is, in Swarga there is no old age and death and all that. Understand that. Our Swarga, how the Veda presents the Swarga is interesting. It says that you are like in, not like in Bhumi. In the earth, you are born, baby, then you have to grow up. Then growing up itself is a problem. Many people have childhood problems. Childhood problems continue into adulthood also. In fact, that is the main problem. Even though you have an adult intellect, emotionally you are still a child, means you are going to suffer. So most adult problems are all really, you can trace it to childhood. Some childhood trauma, it is continuing, or whatever wrong notions you picked up about yourself as a child, it continues. Whatever you may you may achieve as an adult, it doesn't matter. Whatever has gone into you as a child, that controls you. That's what we say, unconscious or subconscious and all that. And it's very powerful. And you have to struggle to overcome that. Anyway, so, and then when you are really thinking that you have overcome all and all that, you have already become old. Then you have midlife crisis. You are middle-aged, and then you are becoming old also. Old age also comes. Old age also people are not able to accept nowadays. They do all sorts of things, correct? Botox and whatever, I don't know. So many things are there. Plastic surgery and all you can keep on doing. After some time, in fact, it becomes worse. And if you naturally age only, there is a certain grace in that, I think. Once you do all this plastic surgery, it becomes worse. It looks grotesque, in fact, on some people, but they keep on, they spend money on all that. Some other people make money on that. It goes on. Anyway, the idea is that here in Swarga, there is no childhood, adulthood, growing up, all this adolescent pangs, nothing is there. You are already an adult and you can enjoy everything without consuming also. Paroksha Priya only. The Devas are all, they can enjoy something without consuming it. That is the Lakshana of a Deva. And so Devas do not age, they do not have death like in earth, but they will just vanish from the Swargaloka once the Kshine Punye Martya Lokam Vishanti, like that it is said. Once the Punya is gone, you just vanish from the Swarga. So it is not considered as Maranam, but still you have to get out of the Swarga only. So in that manner, the Amrita, the Devas are considered to be Amritaha. But that Amritattvam is not Nitya Amritattvam. Understand that. It is not Nitya Phala. Our Shastra is very clear about it, correct? In fact, the Upanishads themselves talk about all this, or Gita also, correct? A Brahma Bonan Lokar Punaravartinorjana, like that Bhagavan says. Everything is Punaravarti only, he says, up to the Brahma Loka. Even if you go to the Brahma Loka, if you think you are an individual, then once your punya is over, you have to come back, he says. Or tad yatha iha karmachito loka kshiyate evam eva amutra punyachito loka kshiyate, like that the Veda says. Okay, so like even the whatever this loka you have attained with whatever karma, this loka also comes to an end. Once you die, you have to leave. Everybody has to leave. Similarly, punyachito lokaha means what? Swarga means it is purely a result of your punya alone. This human is both is a mishra, correct? The punya, papa, both are there. But a deva sharira is purely a result of punya only. Punya chitaha means accumulated by punya. The loka, wherever loka, deva loka, whichever deva loka you go, which is accumulated only due to punya, which is a result of accumulated punya, let us say, that also you have to give up. Once that punya is gone, you cannot do anything. You have to come back. It will also kshiyate. It will come to an end. Like this, the Veda is making it very clear. Veda itself says that. So even if you say even like a yajna karma, one will become amrita. Like this person can argue still. It is a upasana. This sadhupasana is like yajna, and amritattvam, this purusha will get, like even they get the swargaloka. Even if you say that. So amritattvam purushasya yadi kriyate sadupasanaya yajivat, okay, yajikaryavat antavadeva bhave, means what? Like even the result of yajna, whatever phala, we are not saying you won't get the phala, but that will be antavadeva. Okay, it will be something which will come to an end. It's not going to be limitless. So yajikaryavat antavadeva bhave kritakasya yataha vidita adhruvata. Why? Because again, yataha, because kritakasya, whatever is created, adhruvata vidita, he says. It is well known that whatever is created is temporary, it is impermanent. Adhruvata means, dhruva means permanent. Adhruvata means impermanence of whatever is created is well known, he says. Vidita. Whatever is created newly, it will come to an end. It cannot be permanently there. It is all impermanence is there for whatever is created. That is well known. So, like this, even if you say that upasana, through upasana, you attain a certain union with Bhagavan, and you can even call that as Amritatvam, etc. But that phalam, okay. So the Amritatvam of the Asat Purusha. Asat means he is not really Sat, correct? He is not already Sat Vastu. If you say the divide is real, the difference is real, then whatever is different may attain union with the Sadvastu. Whatever is Asat can attain a union with Sadvastu, that is fine. But that union cannot be there forever. Anything which unites has to also disunite. Anything which is created can never be permanent. All these things are known very well. There is nothing new here. So this phala I am not interested, because as a mumukshu I am only interested in nitya phala. Already I have that vairagya. So why will I even be interested in this? Even what if you say that you do upasana, you will get this, means I say I am not interested. That's the only thing I can say. So it's not something I want. Okay. Then, okay, this we will see. In fact, the same thing, he continues the same argument for 3 more verses. We'll see all that next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.